And you know, I got this song stuck in my head. I said I was gonna do this one, and I got that song. What's wrong with being? What's wrong with being? What's wrong with being confident? Hmm. And then I started thinking, what if there was a remix to that song and it was like, "What's wrong with being feminine?" I think that would be real funny. But top line of this one, I'm gonna call it the war on feminism, because I feel like there's a war on masculinity and there's a war on feminism as well. And then I guess it'll tie into what is wrong with being confident, because you can be confident in the wrong things. All right, war on feminism. While we trying to cancel out feminism, make womenism, I mean feminism. You might as well call it womanism, because feminism and woman should be synonyms. I don't know why they've been made out to be antonyms, like they can't be the same. But all right, war on feminism. And then what's wrong with being confident? All right, so let's start up. First thing I think about, surface level. Somehow or another, being a woman, being a young woman, whatever, these days, there's this confidence in not possessing, I don't like to use that word traditional, but so I'm not going to use that word. I'm going to use practical. These days, there is a confidence in not having practical womanly characteristics or traits. For example, I don't know how many scenarios I've been in, or engagements or encounters I've been in, and I've come across women that almost take pride in not being able to cook or not cooking, and not being a nurturer, not being a comforter. And when I say comforter, I mean the ability to console. That might even be nurture to a certain extent. I would say comforting would maybe be when you get older, and nurturing would be, when you're dealing with kids and stuff like that. And not being like, there used to be a point in time where you would associate a woman with a flower, not necessarily saying they got to be delicate and fragile, but they would be soft and lovable and, you know, compatible with sensuality. Nah, all of that's weak stuff now. Knowing how to clean or being clean. And that's from keeping your house clean, keeping your possessions clean, to keeping your mouth clean. Oh my gosh. Potty mouth women. It's like, it's interesting how that is. Like, women that curse like a sailor, that curse more than guys. All of these things embody confidence somehow or another in the modern day women. So let me start from the top. Okay. What's the first thing I said? Uh Cooking. Oh my gosh. You know that saying that used to be like the way to a man's heart is his stomach or something like that. I don't know where things went wrong, but somehow or another women took knowing how to cook or being willing to cook a for themselves, but surely for their significant other as weakness. And I don't really understand how that came about. Um, when did it become weak to know how to cook? That embodies self sufficiency. You would think knowing how to cook and things like that would be positive as far as the independency that women, rightfully so, have been seeking for decades now. But somehow or another, cooking became some punk stuff, something to dismiss like cooking. I don't cook. I'm independent. And so, okay, well, when you say you independent, does that mean that you can cook your meals the way you want to cook them? Um, you can ration your diet the way you want to diet it? You know, does that mean that you can grow your own food? You mean independent like that? Nah. It's like the independent turned into like I could just go spend money on food. I just go eat out every night. I eat out twice a day. Like, you know, and I'm balling. I can do that. And it's like it doesn't really make sense because I don't know, I guess that's something that came into play the last 20 years. Maybe it was starting to show 30 years ago. But just civilization, humanity as a whole, cooking has been very important. I don't care what culture, I don't care what creed you are, I don't care what nationality or ethnicity you are. Cooking is a staple of humanity, and women are a staple and cornerstone of humanity. And somehow or another, eating, feeding yourself, nurturing yourself isn't even something that's prided when you look at the status quo. Now, that's not to say all women out here don't cook and they are in strong opposition to cooking, but I think most people hearing this would know what I'm saying. It's sad. You get in a relationship as a man and find out that you know how to cook better than your woman. I don't know what that's about. That just inverts everything. Craziness. So, cooking is just a simple thing. I guess they take that as servitude. It's, oh my gosh. How they be looking at it? Like submissive? Like just something as simple as cooking, being able to prepare a good meal for you and your family, or maybe just you and your significant other. Like that's too submissive. That word, women should be banned. The modern day woman, especially the cliche woman, it's like they should almost be banned from using that word submissive because they hate it. Everything is submissive. Cooking is submissive. Like what? It's just nuts. Um, Nurturing and comforting. Okay, so I don't know if there's a. I feel like maybe back in the 80s or the 90s, man, there was too much of that pimp stuff going on. And what do I mean by pimp stuff? I mean like Too Short, Sugar Free, DJ Quick, uh, Luke. I don't know if you all know these people, um, but there was a point in time, and I'd say maybe it was 30 to 25 years ago, where it was like there was this. Now, mind you, it was men pushing the narrative predominantly, but it was this thing where it's like, be cold hearted, don't have no feelings, don't be putting your heart into no relationship, go hard on them, uh, be heartless, be callous, get them before they get you, type thing. And I think what happened is that women started to embrace that lifestyle, which is some ignorance primarily that started with men. And then I think women started listening to Too Short. And I don't know, all those type of artists that push that narrative. This is probably gonna piss some people off, like, man, he hating. But it's the reality of it, because music and TV shows and all of that stuff are very influential. And I think it got to a point where it was like, well, if men doing it, then why can't we do it? But women aren't supposed to be as stupid as men. You're not supposed to be as vain as men, honestly. I think that was the whole structure of things in the beginning, but somehow or another, it's like women be trying to match the energy when it comes to not being faithful, not being committed, not being loyal, um, not being good with regulating their own emotions. Therefore, there's no way you can comfort someone who's going through a hard time. You kind of, it's gotten to the point now, and it's common knowledge, like unwritten rules of the game, that you don't share your feelings with a woman. And why is that? I get why, and I do second it with how the world is going now, but that's not how it's supposed to be. I would think that if you're in a relationship, you in a marriage, you in a serious relationship, that if one of y'all having a bad day, then you should be able to talk to the other one about it. I mean, I don't mean bombard your significant other with your emotions to the point where they never get to speak on theirs, but y'all should be able to be transparent about that. But no, nah, it's like, don't be in your feelings. I don't be in my feelings. I don't have feelings. Like I'm a cold blooded reptile or something. Like, what you a reptile now? It's nuts. And there's this empowerment in it. People be walking around for years, decades, just hurt, never healed, because they never even acknowledged the fact that they were hurt, because that's a sign of weakness. Nurturing. Oh gosh. I guess that's the anti stay at home mom. Anti why women gotta be all children oriented. Why can't I have an identity outside of the kids? Why I gotta be a caretaker for the house and all of that? I'm trying to get out and be an entrepreneur. I'm trying to get out and make money. That's fine. See, the world done got to the point where, I mean, it's highly likely that both parents in a household are working. You just got to. That's just the reality of it. Not that you got to, but it's practical. That's common. But damn, something got it to the point where it's like, TV's raising kids, the internet's raising kids, the neighborhood's raising kids. See, I'm an 80s baby, and I do at least recall the idea of it is that, see, I kind of grew up in the hood. I guess you would call it the projects. And the idea of it was women were, women had strong bonds with their kids, be it a girl or a boy, and they nurtured them, not just nourished, but like they nurtured them. And there was certain time and bonding that kids have with their parents. And I think women were primarily the front runner. That's not to say that the father, you know, wasn't involved and didn't do his thing too. But I mean, if somebody had to take the cake, it would generally be women who took that as far as nurturing. Not today. It's like, it's almost like a badge of honor to be able to claim, I ain't got time for that. Now, I don't know where that came from. Oh, okay. What else I say? Clean. Okay, cleaning. Mm. Keeping a clean house, keeping a clean car. That went down the drain. And you know what? I think that has to do with the fact that the world be moving so fast. And somehow or another, even when the world wasn't, quote, moving fast, it seemed to me like men always moving too fast. Men always on the go. Men always, I'm not going to say we impulsive, but comparatively, I would think that we would be impulsive as far as just the speed of how things move. And I think women were always kind of the anchor, where regardless of which way the wind blows, there would still always be an anchor that holds things down. And generally, that anchor would be the home base. And by home base, I mean the home, or, you know, the most commonly frequented spot. And that would be kind of the woman's domain to a certain extent. It ain't like that no more. You got quite a few out there, but the there's a discrepancy in the numbers. I say that mug done dropped by 30%. I'll go out and speculate, man. Somebody can fact check me and be like, well, yeah, study says that, blah. But whatever. My point is, whatever it was, like, this percent of women like to keep a clean house and a tidy house and all of this stuff. Gosh, whatever it was, this had to have gone down by like 30%, a third, 33%. It's nuts. Um, there's only certain type of women that are like that. You got women, they on the go, they moving so much, working so much that got a bunch of dirty dishes and clothes all over the place and don't really be taking care of the yard and all of that stuff. Like, it's just interesting stuff I see. I didn't remember seeing that so much when I was younger. And I think it's because they just be moving at the speed of the world, trying to keep up with the speed of the world, as opposed to being that anchor. Like, well, yeah, we gonna keep up and we gonna keep it moving, but We still gonna pace ourselves, type of thing. Like when I think of a woman, I think of pace, and there ain't no pace. And the compensation for that pace has been that they ain't got time to do certain things. Other form of clean, potty mouth. Oh my gosh, the language and mm, just being as decadent and trifling as men can be. Like, it's nuts as far as being clean. Clean as far as even appearance, you know? Women don't want to dress womanly as much anymore. Like, cute or pretty. They don't want to be pretty. It's like, I want to be rough around the edges, promiscuous looking, provocative looking. But even when looking promiscuous and provocative, I feel like even that's taken a downward spiral because there's a way to look provocative and seductive but still be feminine. Now it's like see through this, see through that. It ain't even Daisy Dukes no more. It's like just like y'all ever seen like like some stuff women be wearing these days, it be looking like assless chaps. Like Daisy Dukes was like right up in the you know accenting the curve of your butt. Now it's like that whole part just gone. Like it's like, yo, this is too much. It's sincerely too much. And then language, presentation, image. Oh gosh, can't be feminine so much these days there either. I can't tell you as I've gotten older how often I see women that don't even want to stay clean. They be ready to fight. Not even just each other, but other men. Like women be squaring up with men, like willing to get dirty, or at least perpetrate as though they're willing to get dirty. Because I really don't think, can't really give a woman that action like some women be going about it. And rightfully so. But my point is, they be trying to square up with men these days, willing to get dirty. And then don't let them actually get dirtied up and get mopped and, you know, dropped. Then it's a whole nother story. Then all of a sudden, how you gonna do that? How you gonna how you gonna hit a woman? And not that I've ever condoned that, but I also don't agree with women just throwing haymakers, uppercuts, and literally trying to abuse their man. I don't know where that came from. Physically, not emotionally, not mentally, not psychologically. And I'm not trying to say any of that is any better than physical abuse, but damn, some of y'all will know what I'm talking about and some of y'all won't. Just aggressive, ready to fight, punching your man, slapping your man, pushing your man, cussing your man out in public. Very dirty. A very dirty image. Uh, I don't understand what the goal is. And I really think that it's almost like social media definitely has something to do with it. Media has something to do with it because social media has empowered a lot of people to be boisterous behind a screen, typing on a keyboard or onto a smartphone. And I think it started to leak out into the way they actually present themselves in the world now. Media, uh, just the image of men has been, gosh, there's been a war on masculinity for so long. I want to say that started first, but nowadays, the defensive posture, I wouldn't even call it defensive posture, I think it's offensive posture. The offensive posture that it seems modern day feminism has put women in, it ain't helping none of us out. It ain't getting none of us anywhere. Case in point, rejection. I remember a point in time where it used to trip me out when when I was younger. I don't think girls were asking guys out very much at all, or approaching guys very much at all. And there was a part of me that was like, they should more. And I mean, maybe I was right, but now I'm starting to think maybe I was wrong because nowadays, maybe it's just what I be seeing, maybe it's just the areas I'm in, or maybe I'm spot on. But nowadays, women be aggressive with it. I got a video talking about social awkwardness, and it's this real funny example if I give. It's a real funny example that I give of this woman who approached me at the bar. But oh my gosh, not even to go back into that story, they don't take rejection very well. It's like that part hasn't caught up with rejection. I mean, the rejection or the ability to take rejection hasn't caught up with the assertiveness and aggressiveness yet. Like you almost can't tell a woman no. And maybe you never could tell a woman no. But now it's like the likelihood of having to tell a woman no has greatly increased because they out here doing more. And I'm not trying to say that they shouldn't be. That's all fine and dandy. See, that's the equality. I think that's like true feminism. I think that like if you at a dance hall or if you at a club or if you at some type of public thing where people are dancing, I think women should see a guy they want to dance with and go try to get him to dance with her. Go, I mean, I've always thought that was cool. I ain't never had no problem with it. A girl want to dance, she come grab me by my hand and kind of tug me a little bit out to the dance floor, and then we start dancing. Okay, cool. I'm gonna be real with you about like 85%, 95% of the time, 85, 90% of the time that happens, I'll be like, all right, cool. Unless I just ain't feel like dancing. And I might not have felt like dancing, one, because I got a girlfriend, or, and she out here, or two, I'm drunk as hell, and I can't, like, I'm just trying to stand up right now, like, so I'm not really trying to dance right now. mess around and throw up on you. But or maybe I just utterly hate the song. Like I'm over here like this song don't have no rhythm. It don't have no like look, all right, this is a very popular song, but one major song that I ain't trying to dance to is "Pour Some Sugar on Me." Like I feel like that's just a song where girls are supposed to go and dance by themselves. Like you going and pulling a guy, or I don't know. Guess I'll just speak for myself. You go try to pull me out there to dance with you to pour some sugar on me. I don't think that's a song that you dance to. I think that's one of those kind of like get it by yourself songs. So, I'm more likely to be like, nah, I'm good on this song. Dang, she messed around and hate you for the rest of the night. She messed around and just be mugging you. You see her off in the distance, just like, yeah. Like, yo, I just didn't want to dance to that song. Damn. Or look, man, I can barely stand up. But man, boy, then they just start dissing you. But like, well, you ugly anyway. You probably can't dance. Or what are you married? And by the way, maybe I am. Or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, it's just crazy taking why is it even gotta be called rejection? I don't even like that word rejection. Just deferment or something. Like I'm just gonna kind of defer this one like nah, I'm good. It's not like no. No. Be taking it like that. Like you ugly. I don't know what good lord. It's nuts. So woo boy, that's like a video in its own. Just how assertive women have gotten versus being able to take disappointment or unsuccessful endeavors. Got to be able to take both of them. You go audition for something. You know what's real funny? Check this out. Did you know that back in the day, I don't know, it might still be like that at some schools, but like, okay, you take sports like baseball, basketball, you know, tennis. I don't know, maybe you have a men's volleyball team. Man, the point I'm getting at is I think I saw this problem a long time ago, and now it's just like escalated decades later. In grade school, middle school, high school, most sports for girls, and I'm not trying to say everywhere, don't try to hear what I ain't saying, just hear what I am saying. Most girl sports, if you went out and tried out for the team, you made the team. And there was several reasons. A, because you wouldn't have that many go out. But then B, it's not like you had enough go out to be trying to cut people. Like you need some of everybody. It'd be hard to have like a JV and a varsity team in certain areas and certain schools if you cutting girls. So basically every girl that come out gonna make it. Like there's not a whole bunch of girls going out for the wrestling team. Um, there's not necessarily gonna be a whole lot of you know, girls going out to play sports like that. Now, in some places, yeah, you got a big city or, whatever the case may be. But for the most part, girls didn't have to deal with getting cut. Okay. It's a very interesting thing. Somehow or another, I think that plays out when they get older, like getting cut. See, as a guy, you used to getting cut. You used to getting rejected. You used to getting turned down. I'm sure now it might happen to other people more than they like to admit, or it might happen to certain people more than people like to admit, but trying to get into a venue, trying to get into a club, trying to get into a late night club, the hot spot, and you get turned down at the door because you're wearing this, or you're not wearing that, or you look like this, or you don't look like that. That happens a lot with guys. But with girls, it's basically like you a girl, you getting in because you don't really want to have like a what they call it a sausage fest. You know what I'm saying? Sausage fest don't do very well unless it's specifically one of those type of places. But yeah, that's interesting. I think it's starting to get pretty crazy. The fact that girls haven't had to deal with rejection as much, just in society. And then, secondly, war on feminism. You know, I know women been doing their hair for a long time. I know women been making themselves look better with their clothing a long time. But gosh, it's done gotten to the point where it has to be some type of programming that women are ugly. Like at face value, I don't know. There's just too much going on with makeup, too much going on with plastic surgery, too much going on with fake bra, fake eyelashes, fake nails, fake hair, fake lips, fake breasts, push up bra, implants, fake stomach, girdle, whatever, fake butt, pants that got these things that bring up your butt and make it look better, heels, fake toenails, uh, just makeup to the point where it's like, whoa, your makeup looks like a filter. Filters to the point where you can't look like how you actually look. What is going on? Like, man, what's that song? I think it was like Kendrick Lamar. He was like, uh, show me something natural, like ass with the stretch marks. Like, like you can't you. It's like you can't have no blemish. You can't have no fault. You can't have a big nose. You can't have like it's messed up. It is messed up. I don't know if anybody's saying that, but how they becoming at women, and it's like it's pushed in society too much. Like, do you have freckles? Well, that's ugly. You know, do you have this type of hair? Well, you need to do something about it. Or do you have? It's very frustrating because see, men can't really avoid it, and it's a little different for men. Like see, men get theirs in like little certain areas, like in the shower. They'd be like, "Oh, look at little man, you got a little," you know, or like, "Man, you got a flat chest," or like, "Man, you ain't got no abs," or like, you know what I'm saying? The stuff that look at my biceps and look at yours when you take your shirt off, and look at me when I take my shirt off and stuff like that. But see, men can get around that. You don't have to have the most muscles. You don't have to have the biggest abs. You don't have to be able to bounce your chest. and flex your muscles and like and do all that craziness. Sometimes, it's like, yo, I'm still very capable. I still got my niche and I still got my lane. I'm a skinny ass dude that don't really have muscles, but particularly I'm good at cross country, or maybe I'm a good distance runner, or maybe I'm a ice skater, or maybe I'm a whatever, maybe I do gymnastics and stuff. Well, now they be kind of buff too. But anyway, you get my point. As a guy, it's not so much chalked up as to how you look. It's more like what can you do and what is your status. But with women, somehow or another, it don't matter what you can do. It don't matter what your status is. It still matter like, well, how endowed are you? How curvy are you? How tall are you? Um, what's your figure like? What's your complexion like? What's your hair like? Oh gosh, I'm gonna leave it right there. Might seem like I'm cutting it abrupt, but I think that last one is deep enough. Just you can't be a woman and have no flaws. And then I feel like women are harder on each other than men are on women. It's nuts. Shouldn't be like that. See, men are always gonna be stupid in that regards. In innately stupid. Not that we all dumb. Not that there's not a good portion of us that don't get it. But like just looking at surface level, face value, external looks, yeah, okay, all right, cool. But dang, it's like that is the norm now. That is the only way you're supposed to look at a woman. People be like utterly depressed because they got acne or something. Now, mind you, it could end up even going away, or because their breasts develop late. Or maybe they don't develop at all, man. Maybe she just got a flat chest, or maybe she got a flat butt. But that's not those aren't necessities to being an attractive woman, first of all. And then those aren't necessities to being a confident woman. So I'll end it all by saying whether you got what everybody wants you to have, whether you got everything you want to have, what's wrong with being confident? Deuces.